Welcome to the Self-Awareness and Self-Compassion Podcast, formerly known as the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Schwaller, life coach, mom, and former tattoo artist. I help people heal their past, speak their truth, and love the lives that they're living now. Join me here every week for conversations on how to live an imperfect but fully engaged life that embraces all the feels so that you can stretch into your best life while enjoying the you that's here right now. Hey, this is Blaise. Welcome back to Full Spectrum Feeling. Last week, I was talking about my own personal inner nature, right? Which is to be pretty calm, to give not very many fucks about very many things, to work at a fairly constant but slow pace. This is something I've noticed about myself, and learning how to embrace that reality, that inner nature. And this week, I want to talk about all of the different varieties of yourself that you can find, and how do we come to this sense of acceptance about ourselves when we discover something that is not what we've tried to make outer facing to the world. So for instance, with me, I always wanted to do more, and prove how much I had done, and have a lot of things going on and make a lot of stuff. So I had some physical proof to show about what I'd been doing. And I felt like it wouldn't count if I didn't have, 15 million drawings and sketches and records of phone calls and just a trail of stuff showing that I experienced life and I had really put myself into it and therefore was worthy of existing and praise. That's my own inner demon. But if you resonate, big hugs, I'm here. I understand. So what do we do when we realize that the thing we've been trying to be and that we keep struggling to be is not actually who we really are or who we want to be? And what is it like to surrender to it? And I want to share a few thoughts on that. So in my own experience, I guess I had the opposite value. You need to produce a lot of things and show up and be loud and be seen and, be impressive in some way. That's what I thought I needed to do. And so I tried. But on the inside, I was always I don't really want to be on the center of the stage. I don't really like pushing very hard. I actually don't want to produce that many things. I mean, sometimes I do, but one thing at a time, kind of slowly. It doesn't need to be huge, just something. I like to think a lot. I like to read a lot and think a lot. I like to talk a lot. That's how I ended up making a podcast. So, you find the thing that resonates with who you actually are and you start to do it. It doesn't seem that hard. But recognizing that the things that I do that seemed to resonate with other people and, connect with them and maybe be of value to other people were often the things that felt like they were the easiest for me, that they were not hard for me to do, that seemed after the fact to have just been well, of course, that was I was going to do that anyway. And maybe that's the secret of starting to realize who you really are and what you really want to do is what are the things that you're already doing anyway, or that you'll find a way to do, even though maybe you wouldn't put it on a list as something really important that people should do. Notice I say people because we always think it's what people should do and therefore I should do that because I am people, but it's not what I want to do. So what do you like to do? Do you like to strategize and play video games? I've been obsessed with Everdell lately, which is just such a fun board game. And then it got online and I'm enjoying playing that and doing the challenges. And I just, it's cute and it's soothing. It's nature and it's adorable. And I like the art and I like the music, but I also like coming up with a strategy and I like rehashing things and thinking about them on different angles. And I'm going to do that in my life no matter what. And I would guess that every human being has something about them, something that they like doing that they're going to do no matter what. And what are those things? And how can we find the activities and maybe the careers and maybe the partners that allow us to embrace more and more of that so that we're just enjoying our existence, doing the things that we want to do, that are in our nature to do anyway. For me, animals, taking care of pets or taking care of my yard or thinking about that and strategizing, how can I take care of it and set it up even better? What time of day is the best to go out for a walk so that it's cooler and I don't have to deal with the bugs, or it's not, or it's warmer in the winter. Like, I adjust a lot of things that I do daily to just adjust with the season. And that's who I am and what I like to do. And I don't think everyone has to do it. I think everyone has their own pace and their own particular way of doing things and interacting with the world. Certainly, raising my daughter has shown me just how much people can be similar to me or be completely opposite. And it's neat, actually. It's wonderful to be like, wow, we're all so different and we have such a different take on things and ways that we want to be and ways that we want to interact, and they are not the same. And that's really cool. And it makes our lives full to be around other people who have different ways of doing and being. And in honoring ourselves, we have to notice like where we're different and really take care of ourselves and allow ourselves to fill those needs. So for instance, I really love quiet. I just need it. I need time to be peaceful, to not have input. There's a lot about me that likes to ruminate or be quiet, and sometimes even just try to still thoughts and just exist and be. And I love that. That's so much a part of me that I can remember as far back as I can remember as a kid. I would stay in bed extra and longer, not because I was sleeping, but because I just wanted a chance to not interact or get input or loudness from anything else. So I could just feel what the fabric felt like and hear the birds and like feel the sun on my cheek or whatever it is, and just notice all those sensations. And I'd almost hold myself there longer than I felt comfortable to extend out how long I could just be present without doing anything. And it's neat to me because I'm like, wow, I've always felt that way. Like, it's something that I've been doing since, God, maybe I was 5, 6, 7 years old. I can remember every school morning and every evening that was my desire. And then I witnessed my daughter and her desire is to connect immediately and want to share everything. And it's so neat. Like, it's just a different impulse, and her energy is just so bright and blooming and like a little sunbeam. And mine is like a very calm rock that wants to sit in the sunbeam, but doesn't want to do anything. No wonder my fear has always been that I'm lazy, because, we live in a world of people that want to throw the rock or do something with it. And I'm like, no, I just want to be the rock. I just want to sit and be. That is what I want. It's so funny. So as we realize what it is that we want to do, then we're faced with all of the ideas that we have about why that's not okay and what we think everyone else is doing and how we should be the same as them because we want to fit in. Or because we're afraid maybe we won't survive if we do things the way that we think we want to or don't want to. We worry about being judged by others. And we want to have those connections, I think, and feel accepted. But I think being accepted by others really has to start with accepting ourselves first. And I know for a fact, like when I'm nourishing myself and allowing myself to be more of who I am for longer and longer periods of time, I can muster the energy without any kind of effort to be able to go out and do a big event and hang out with a lot of people and be in the loud noise. Like, it just extends my ability to cope with all of that because I've really allowed myself to be what I am more. And it also allows me to gracefully go like, okay, I've had enough of this and I need to go back to being more of me now, which is I need to go recuperate and go in my den and hang out. It's awesome. I love it there. And then there comes the time when, you're embracing it and even bringing it into how can I utilize this? Like, how is this a strength? How is what my inner nature is contributing to what I have to offer to the world and make me an important part of that web? And it's funny, I'm just now remembering that at the beginning of the year, I was talking about what's the theme for this cycle. And it was really all about how do I belong the most in this interconnected web of existence. And I had forgotten it actually until just this moment. I'm like, yeah, When you start to embody who you are, you start to recognize that there's a role in a really important space for that nature that is yours to exist, that other people need to rely on and seek out as well. Like you're a big support to someone who has a nature that's opposite of yours, and you're a supporting role for people who are almost like you, but not quite. We all occupy a really specific and important place. And only by really allowing ourselves to be can we truly fulfill it, I think, and allow others to become even more of themselves and fill their space more powerfully. So I think of my own existence right now, like how do I fit in as a wife, as a mother, as a coach, as a friend, as a child, like all of those things, as just a citizen, as someone who lives here in this time, in this space. What am I providing? And how does my existence alter everything that's around me for good or ill, right? And how can I occupy that space in the best way? What a great question. How can I occupy the space that I am in the best way possible? I love that question. And, it allows me to ruminate some more because that's what I do. But even if it's just unconscious and you plug it in there as just a subconscious idea, how can I best occupy who and what I am and enjoy it and amplify other people just by being me? That question allows you to start to find the places where who you are really belongs, where you're a great fit, where it's a strength to be you, and it's a benefit to others to just be exactly as you are. Like I know some people who are amazing at organizing stuff and taking in tons of information and being able to deliver it to other people in just a magnificent way and keeping everything moving for others. I know people who are frantically just doing all the things and they're ready to grab all that stuff like they need someone to prepare it. And I know people who are, swimming. They're swimming and they need an anchor. And I'm often that anchor and it's cool. And I enjoy being that. So, my final thoughts on this, I would say, are to really allow yourself to be blessed in being who you are. I'm not a religious person, but when I say blessed, I mean the acknowledgement that there's something really magnificent about yourself and about just being you. There's like a miracle in that you even exist and that here you are right now in this time. And to acknowledge that that's a blessing and that you are that blessing. And you can honor it best by appreciating that and allowing yourself to show up fully as you are. And that comes with all your emotions. You're going to feel good about it some days, bad about it others, but either way, you're still who you are. Like we can't really get away from that as hard as we try. So may you be blessed just by being yourself and acknowledge that blessing today. And may that bring a smile to your face and some peace in your heart. Have a marvelous week, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share it with someone you love, and leave us a review. You can learn more and get some self-compassion tips and tricks by visiting coachwithblaze.com, where you can sign up to get my free booklet on overcoming anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout. I'm sending you so much appreciation and love, and I'll see you next time.